This video is being recorded on June 14th, the day the Reddit blackout officially ends. A lot of the subreddits I frequent that participated in the blackout are operational once again, and yes, I browse Reddit. Throw your jokes at me all you fucking want. I don't care. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, on June 12th, a lot of subreddits went private in protest of Reddit's changes in regards to how people can obtain their API. What does that mean? I barely knew what the fuck that meant when I first started hearing about this protest, so because I'm stupid and can't explain tech shit to save my life, I'm going to read an article explaining the situation. From Digital Trends, Reddit is in trouble right now. After announcing changes in April, news has surfaced that several of the most popular third-party Reddit apps would be shut down by the end of the month. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and they allow two applications to communicate with one another. As the name suggests, it's an interface in which apps can send data back and forth without actually accessing the app itself. In the case of Reddit, it has long maintained a free API. That means anyone building an application could request data from Reddit and use that to build their own application. Someone could build their own application with its own interface and any additional features they want, and then use the Reddit API to populate it with things like subreddit information, posts, comments, and user profiles. Reddit launched a free API 7 years ago, but in April it announced they would be making changes. Those changes included charging for API access. That means developers who have made an app for Reddit would now need to pay for requests. With a paid API, developers generally need to pay on a per-request basis. The more popular an app is, the more requests it needs to make, the more money it costs. One developer claimed Reddit is charging $12,000 for every 50 million requests, or 24 cents per 1,000 requests. That may not sound like a lot, but Apollo, a popular Reddit app for Apple products, can make upwards of 7 billion requests in a month. That comes out to nearly 2 million per month and over 20 million per year. Now, does this impact me directly? No, I've never used a third-party Reddit app, nor did I know any third-party Reddit app even existed. But this still sucks because if one doesn't like the official Reddit app or website, they should have these third-party alternatives to go to. Not to mention I've heard that some of these third-party apps make Reddit more accessible for disabled people, and perhaps most important of all, provide better tools for mods to keep their subreddits safe from bot spam. I wouldn't want to go on a subreddit completely inundated with bot spam linking to God knows fucking what, probably malware that infests your computer and compromising any account it's signed into. So the Reddit blackout gets my full support. But I do have one issue with it. I was watching a video the other day from Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, and he echoed my exact issue with this. This protest only officially lasts for 2 days. Now granted, there are some subreddits that have been privated indefinitely, but that should be every fucking subreddit participating in this protest. When this first kicked off, Reddit servers couldn't handle all of these subs shutting down at once, and Reddit as a whole completely crashed. People were getting nothing on their home pages, and imagine if Reddit was like that for an extended period of time. And I know the rebuttal, but that would be inconvenient for people who browse these subreddits. That's why most subreddits are only doing this for 2 days. But shouldn't that be the point? A user is inconvenienced by all of these subreddits shutting down at once. They wonder what the fuck is even going on, and then they read about the issue and learn more about it and understand why these moderators are shutting down their subreddits, and are perhaps sympathetic as to why they're doing it. But most of these big subreddits only participating in this protest for 2 days only defeats the point because Reddit can just weather the storm. They know this is not going to last for long, so they can just write off the issues the site experienced for the last 2 days as just server issues for people who are out of the loop. Reddit's entire foundation is built upon the millions of different communities covering millions of different niches that are on the site. Without those communities, people have no reason to go on Reddit. If all of these subreddits shut down until Reddit gave them the answer that they were looking for, Reddit would probably have no choice but to cave. Think about it realistically. Imagine how much traffic on Reddit would be hindered if thousands of the most popular communities were shut down indefinitely. That would probably cause catastrophic damage to the site, and Reddit would have no other option but to say, alright, you win, the API API stays free, and on top of that, that sets a precedent. That sends the message to any other social media site who may want to engage in similar scumfuck practices that their community could potentially band together against them and potentially cause irreparable damage to the site. But what message does this Reddit protest send? Oh, our user base will band together against us for a few days, maybe they'll cause some short-term damage in the long run, but all in all, it's a storm that we can absolutely afford to weather. And as far as I know, Reddit is completely unfazed, they haven't responded to this protest, and they probably will indeed charge people for API access. If you want to fight against corporate greed, you have to put up an adequate enough fight, and I'm sorry, putting up a fight for only 2 days ain't gonna do shit more than likely. But anyway, I do hope I'm proven wrong, because I am absolutely on the side of the community, and I do, again, genuinely like browsing Reddit, so I don't want to see the site go to shit due to corporate greed. But overall, I am rather pessimistic, because it seems like Reddit can't give two shits about this protest, because you gave them an end date. You made it explicitly clear that this protest is not going to last very long, therefore you gave Reddit no reason to be concerned over this protest happening in the first place. I'm sorry, but I feel like you shot yourselves in the foot by doing that. That's just how I genuinely feel. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.